So yes, good morning. I've been really looking forward to doing this one. It is the final body spray that I've bought, the final fragrance I've bought over this Christmas period. That Christmas spending I've done to buy fragrances, this is the final one I haven't reviewed yet. And again, it's going to be a kind of initial impressions today. It's another collaboration set. It is this one. It is Wicked. If you don't know Wicked, very much popular in London. I think it's the longest running musical going on there. And this one is called, and I hope I pronounce this right, Elphaba Thropp. Thropp. There you go, Elphaba Thropp. So yeah, this fragrance is one that really interests me. One that I've never looked at buying before, because it doesn't really tell you anything, it doesn't really represent anything from that. And I don't particularly know the little musical. So yeah, really looking forward to trying this one today. If you haven't seen these fitness fragrance reviews, essentially I do a morning workout. So I'm going to go for a run, walk to the gym, do a gym workout, walk back, all while wearing this. And we're going to rank it on 5 categories. So it's price / value for money. It's versatility, it's how much you can use it in different situations. It's projection, so how much I notice it during my run. Also, I'm going to spray my room later to see how much it fills up the room. So if anyone walked in, would they notice it? Would they detect it? Compliment factor. So again, how good is this one for compliments? And also its longevity, where I'll spray my arm before I go to the gym, and a few hours after, we'll see if we can still detect it after a workout and a shower, essentially. So before we do that, we're going to go into the note breakdown of this fragrance. So again, modern fragrances, they don't like to tell you too much about what's in it. So this is a very, very brief note breakdown based on what Lush say on their website and what Fragrance Curve said. Essentially, it's got pink pepper in it, it's got vanilla absolute, and it's also got a bit of cedarwood. But actually, on the back, they do have some ingredients, a big ingredient list. And I was thinking, when I sprayed this fragrance, I'm not particularly detecting that. I'm not getting anything like vanilla. I'm not really getting maybe a little bit of spice from the pink pepper you can detect from this fragrance. And again, cedarwood, yes, it sort of blends the fragrance together, but it's not a really, really strong note, but you do detect it. But having a little look on the back, there are some other notes that I noticed here. So you've also got this Heba wood oil. Again, maybe that's just adding a little bit more woodiness. Again, a slightly more masculine edge, maybe. There is also an oak moss extract in here, which they don't mention on any note breakdowns or anything like that. Cardamom as well, and I think there's something else. They also mentioned vetiver in the description, but again, not mentioned anywhere, and I can't see it here on the ingredient list. So maybe that's a synthetic molecule that they have added. So there's actually quite a lot of depth into this. And what do you kind of get then as a smell? What am I actually getting then based on some of those notes? Well, I think the spice is definitely there. So maybe we can say the pink pepper, the cardamom there working in harmony to do that. I think the woods have just blended everything together. But the real strong thing here is I get this sort of smoky greenness. And again, I'm assuming that's probably a little bit from the vetiver, but mainly that greenness, that barbershop feel is from oak moss. And again, when you look at the label, it does represent maybe that it is a green fragrance. And that's really what I'm getting here. Green fragrance with a little bit of spice and a little bit of smokiness coming from that dry vetiver. So yeah, really nice fragrance, really interesting. Looking forward to reviewing this one today. Again, I sprayed it once the other day just to kind of see what it was like. Just wanted to try it out of interest. But today's the first time I've really worn it, so maybe my opinion will change as it goes on. Essentially though, it's whether I can recommend it for you. So we're going to go out for our run now, trying to get out a little bit earlier today before it rains. And we'll do the first 2 categories, so it's price / value for money, and also its versatility, how much you can use it in different situations. Get stretching, and I'll see you out there. Storm is coming. You can just feel it in the air. It's very, very unsettled. Hopefully I'll be able to walk to the gym still. Anyway, price / value for money for Elphaba Thropp, the Lush body spray, the collaboration with Wicked. So what price are we paying there? Well, I obviously paid £20 because it was that sale price that's on there. But in general, it's £40 for this one. And that's pretty much at the top end you'll ever pay for a Lush body spray. And it's always the ones that are the collaborations. Now, if I was blindfolded, how much do I think this one is worth? Well, I think this one's pretty good. You know, the other day with the Mossy Blossom one, the Shaun the Sheep collaboration, I criticised it because it smelled a little bit like Guardian of the Forest. And I thought they were essentially charging more because it was a collaboration. And for me as a consumer, personally just for me, I want to pay the price for the fragrance. I don't want to feel like I'm being ripped off or scammed when they're pretty much selling similar scent for a cheaper price. This one I can't say that. This one I can't think of anything in the Lush body sprays or their fragrances that smells like this. This one's got a lot of depth and complexity, and again, it's not one that smells like a gourmand fragrance. You know, again, Lush body sprays very much gourmand, smell like food. This one here doesn't. It doesn't smell like a dessert at all. This one smells very much like a fragrance. And yes, it's green again. It's got your oak moss in it. It's definitely got that smokiness from the vetiver and the spice. And when it's really made with all of that, it's quite a strong, smoky, masculine fragrance. A little bit barbershop, but the woods and the pepper and all those spices that you get in it definitely make it feel quite masculine. And actually, for the first time ever, I never say this with Lush fragrances, particularly their body sprays, there's quite a lot of the complexity here. I've never seen a note breakdown or found so many notes for the fragrance. So probably in that sense, look, £40, yes, they're charging more because it's a collaboration, but on this case, I think I can say actually it's a little bit more justified. And I do think it has that element about it where I go, yeah, that smells at least £40 or more. So for that reason, I'm actually going to give Price Touch Face Money a little bit higher. Look, if it was £20 normally, I'd say 10 out of 10. But £40 is their top of the range, so you should expect it to be a little bit better. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a very good fragrance with a little bit more depth about it. And a little bit more, like they've put a bit more effort in. I said some of their recent releases have been a little bit underwhelming to me, like they've just rushed to get them out. This one, they felt like they put a bit of effort in. And maybe that is because it's a collaboration. So well done, Lush. 8 out of 10 for this round. On to versatility. Okay then, so on to versatility for Elphaba Thropp body spray. How much can you dress them down? Different ages, different occasions, different seasons, all those things. Well, let's start with if this is a unisex fragrance. Yes, I think it is. But again, they've started to do a few more fragrances Lush recently where I feel they're more masculine. And I say that because it's got that sort of spiciness. And again, it's certainly not really, really heavy masculine. This is a unisex fragrance, but I'd say it's 65% masculine to say 35% feminine. But it's got that spice, it's got that smokiness that comes from the vetiver, which I think is what's really giving it that masculine edge. And also that oak moss makes you feel like it's got that fougere barbershop vibe, which I think is more masculine, certainly more masculine for me. And look, in terms of seasons, I don't think it's a massive dress-up scent. I still think it's one more for smart casual. You know, I wouldn't necessarily want to wear it for formal occasions because it's got no sweetness. But that smokiness, a bit of depth it does have, does mean you can certainly dress this one up absolutely fine. But I also do think it's probably quite hard to really dress casually because of that smokiness at the same time and the spiciness you get from it alongside those green notes. But I think as long as you tone your sprays relative to the situation, you can kind of wear this all the time. I think it's going to be best in those transition seasons, spring, fall. But again, if you tone your sprays up right, maybe you want to spray a bit more in the winter, a little bit less in the summer, in hotter climates, if you're doing a workout, it'll work fine. And in essence, that makes it a good signature scent. And I really do think it has signature scent potential, which again, a lot of the Lush ranges I really like, they're more suited to, you know, winter time, sticky dates, where you wouldn't wear them in hot climates. This has that little bit more versatility. And as we touched on earlier, a little bit more complexity, a bit more grown up. I think someone 25 and up will probably benefit more from this than someone who's getting into fragrances who might want something a bit more juvenile, because this does smell quality and sophisticated. So I think really, look, you can wear it whenever, wedding, job interview, go for it. Tone your sprays down when you think it's relative to, but I don't think it's really harsh and aggressive or too daring that people might find this divisive. So for versatility, I think this deserves a good score. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10, which is a lot higher than I was predicting at the start. Really enjoying it on my workout at the minute. And yeah, I can just see myself wearing this in plenty of occasions, particularly even at work. And I think it'll do those jobs absolutely fine. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10. When we get back, we will talk about projection, how much I have actually noticed it during this run. Workout done, managed to avoid the rain more importantly than anything. I've still got this cough, a bit of a cold at the minute, but I feel fine. Anyway, going to spray my room now to test for projection. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, as I mentioned earlier, if someone walked in, would they notice the fragrance essentially? I'll come up in 10 minutes time once I've had my cup of tea and something to eat, and we can assess that. But I also need to test for longevity as well. So I spray my arms 3 times on this side, and also on this side as well. And it's basically 9:10. So when I leave the gym, it should be about 12. We'll see if I can still smell the fragrance after my walk, workout, and a shower. But yeah, let's head downstairs, talk about projection during my run, and then we'll come up and give a score on it overall. I swear I never put my hat on straight, do I? Anyway, projection during my run for Elphaba Thropp. How much did I notice the scent? Well, at the start, quite a lot. I mean, it did tail off a little bit near the end, but the wind has really picked up. There's a storm coming on, about 50-mile-an-hour wind today. So I didn't expect it to kind of last that long, essentially. But what I did notice more than anything, particularly when I was picking up, was actually how the scent changed. Getting this mentholy type vibe from the green notes. Maybe there's a little bit of mint in here or something along those lines. Maybe a bit of tarragon, something like that. It's definitely a bit more of a cleaner green rather than that aggressive peppery sort of green that you can sometimes get. Even though this has got pepper in it, it's not overpowering. Pink pepper's a little bit lighter, associated more with feminine and sort of summery fragrances as well. So yeah, I'd probably say about an hour and a half of the 2 hours I ran, it was absolutely fine. So really happy with that. Don't know how much it's going to really stick to my room. That being said, that vanilla, there's a bit of vanilla in this. Maybe that'll help it. We will see. I'm really interested to try this. So I'm going to finish my tea and we'll head upstairs and we'll give a score on projection. Okay, let's head upstairs then and give a score on projection. Apologies for the noise, my mum is having a shower. She has done a workout, but of course she's not reviewing fragrances on her one. She's more sensible than me, so. Can't smell anything as I come up. Oh, this cold is getting on my nerves. I do apologise if my nose dripping. Right, yes, 100% you can detect the scent. It is really nice, and it is that vanilla that's bringing it through. And I'm starting to wonder if that sort of mentholy, creamy type vibe I'm getting from this green fragrance is actually that vanilla mixing with the oak moss. And it's creating this really nice, pleasant scent. This is a really good fragrance. I'm really enjoying this one. It's not what I expect for a collaboration scent. You know, when I think of some of these collaborations, let's say do like a Hello Kitty one, I think as well, you get these very sweet, almost bubblegummy type fragrances, a little bit gimmicky. This one's quite serious, a little bit like Mossy Bottom that we did yesterday from Shaun the Sheep. Quite serious type scents, but they smell like fragrances, and they've done a really good job of that. It's more, as I said, I just don't expect that from collaborations. I expect them to be a little bit more bubblegummy and all those things. This one's not. This one's a bit green, a bit mysterious, but very wearable, very pleasant. If people come in the room here, they're going to say good things, and that's going to give it a good score for projection. I'm really happy with this one. It's not that divisive, and that's impressive for a green fragrance. So I'm going to go 9.5. The only reason I'm marking it down that little bit is just I've had slightly stronger ones, but I've given it slightly higher score, probably just because I think the smell's really pleasant, and people will certainly notice. They'll come in the room and they'll know you've been in it, even if you've, you know, just walked in by passing. If you've been sitting in here 10 minutes late, it's going to last you 3-4 hours, and people are just going to notice it, even if you've almost gone nose blind to it. So 9.5 out of 10, amazing fragrance. Walk to the gym now, we'll talk about compliment factors. Do I think this fragrance will get compliments? And yeah, I'm hoping maybe I'll get one at the gym today, and then of course we can finally get a 10. Let's just hope I beat the rain. Wow, that wind has really picked up since I left for my run this morning. I'm so glad I didn't get caught in it. You can't really tell at the minute because it's behind me, but I'm going to get caught in rain today. I know it. Anyway, compliment factor for Elphaba Thropp. Elphaba Thropp. Still haven't quite got it right, have I? Terrible at pronunciations. So do I think it's a compliment getting fragrance? Well, look, I've been saying some very good things about it, and obviously when we look at the scores so far today, I've been saying this smells a good high quality scent, and I think it's got its versatility benefits, and it's obviously got good projection, and those three things as well. When something smells expensive, when it can be used in many different situations, and when you can actually notice it because it's actually got a decent performance to it, in that sense they're all going to be quite good for compliments. It's going to get compliments. That being said, the words I wouldn't associate with this type of scent is seductive, alluring, you know, date night, anything like that. It doesn't feel like that sort of scent. So if you're looking for a type of fragrance for those sort of compliments, this isn't the one. I really don't think it is, and I never think green fragrances, because this is mainly a green type fragrance with a bit of smokiness from that vetiver, they're not really compliment getting fragrances for me, but they can certainly be used in those situations. They will get noticed based on the other factors I've just mentioned, and that vanilla in this does have that slight sweet creaminess, which I really detect, and I think it's very pleasant. But the words I would associate with this one more are kind of approachable, friendly, well-rounded, well put together, sophisticated. So if they're the sort of compliments you're looking for, and they're more for your daily, everyday wear type compliments, I think this is great, and I think it justifies the price tag that we were saying earlier. It's a little bit more expensive because it's a collaboration, but I can understand it with this one. There's a bit more complexity to it with all these notes that are in it, which is quite a lot for Lush. And for that reason, I think it deserves still quite a good score on compliment factor. Look, do I think it's going to be one that I'd recommend for that exact thing? No, I think it's a better all-rounder than that, but it will get some along the way. And for me, that means it ticks a lot of boxes. So I'm going to say we'll go 8 out of 10. I was going to give it a 7.5, but I just think that vanilla sweetness I noticed on my room spray test was just bumped up a bit, and it was very pleasant. It was very pleasant. And again, people are going to come in the room and want to know what it is. It adds a slight mysterious quality, and people will want to get closer to you. And I think that justifies a good score. So 8 out of 10. Of course, any at the gym today, we will bump it up to a 10. Let's try and get one. Workout done, no compliments, but fragrance is still there, and it's very sweet. I don't know if it's the cardamom and the vanilla mixing together. There's this nice sweet spicy, and the greenness has worn off a bit. This is a very interesting, unique scent. This is a real change of pace from Lush. I'm a big fan of it. I'm really intrigued now. Let's see how it does with the shower test. We're gonna have a shower, then we'll test for longevity after. That smells good. It is still currently dry as we speak, but you can probably tell the wind has really, really picked up. So I'll be super quick with this review. The longevity is 2 minutes past 12. Time to smell my arms anyway and just see what we can detect. I'll tell you what, it is still there. Look, it's not really, really heavy. You're probably talking 45-50%. It's probably half as strong as what it was. But I've had a really long shower because I didn't want to get out because I was cold. And it's not bad at all. I feel like that vanilla's really sticky, but the green notes are starting to come back through now. It's this like oak moss and vanilla combination for me that's really shining through. The spiciness now is something I'm not really detecting. And the woodiness not particularly. But what it's left is this nice, almost refreshing, sweet, minty smell. It's got a bit of that mentholy vibe, but it is toned down by that sweetness, which I think is coming from the vanilla. I like this fragrance a lot. I really do, and I liked it actually. When I first sprayed it, I didn't really notice too much. When I first got it the other day, I thought, it's a bit boring. It doesn't do anything that breaks the mold. I put it on a bit last night just to kind of give me a rough idea of the smell. And I thought, yeah, that smells good. But obviously, I thought, well, let's just see how I feel with it in the morning. But as the day's gone on, I just find I'm liking it more and more and more. This is what I think the Shaun the Sheep fragrance was lacking. This was the sort of scent I wanted it to be. And it almost feels like this one is perfect. It's the perfect green scent. I'm really enjoying it. And I think the more it's dried down and the more it's come into that creamy sweetness and that smokiness that we get from the vetiver early on, now that's worn off, I think it's more pleasant. It's going to get you through the day. I think it's going to give you confidence. I think this is going to do really well. I love it. I love it. It's a little grown up, a bit more sophisticated. I feel like it's more of a fragrance from Lush that reaches out to your fragrance lovers. And I just find it, almost the fact that it is a collaboration, actually, I think it's limiting this. They need to try and keep this scent because I don't think there's anything else out there that's replicating this in their line. So yeah, I definitely think it's worth it. And longevity is not bad at all. So I'm going to go, we'll go 8.5. Look, I think it's going to get you through the day if you weren't doing a workout, if you were just at work. It's not really heavy, it's not really strong. By the end of the day, it'll probably just wear off just in time for your shower, essentially. So yeah, signature scent worthy, and the longevity will get you through, certainly in these winter months. But yeah, time to head back now. We'll count up all the scores and I'll give my overall thoughts. We are back. We are finally back. Well, to be honest, I've actually been back a little while because it is 2:05, and I have managed today to do 40,310 steps, all while wearing this fragrance here. The collaboration from Wicked, Elphaba, Thropp. Let's try and say it right before we finish. So what was the total score today based on the 5 rounds that I did? 43.5 out of 50. Yes, that is an enormous score. And to be honest with you, I can still smell it's there, and actually that smokiness is coming back a little bit now as well. This is a really complex fragrance, a really, really complex fragrance. It's not one, again, that I'd expect from Lush just based on, the ones they do, those gourmandy fragrances. So if you're someone who wants a bit of a change of pace, if you're someone who's more into fragrances, maybe, you really just want to try some different notes, this is a great place to start. So it's a green fragrance, it's got smoky elements. I do think it's for someone who's a little bit more grown up, who wants to do something, just be a bit more sophisticated. I find it weird though, because I just don't think collaborations would do that. I feel like they'd be the more simplistic fragrances, but it is a little bit more expensive. I said £40 for this one in general. Again, if you got it for £20, amazing. But do I think it's worth £40? I absolutely do. I really do. I think what they've done here, they've got it right. As I said earlier, I wasn't a massive fan of Mossy Bottom. I didn't do it quite as much for me. This one's got enough complexity where I think actually it justifies the price tag. It's not as simplistic. It's just a little bit more wearable for me. And yeah, I really appreciate this one. I think Lush done a great job. Get it while it lasts though, because again, these collaborations, they change all the time. There'll be a different thing soon. And yeah, it's given me a little bit of faith now that actually I could buy one of these collaborations and not feel ripped off. As I said with the other one the other day, 43.5 out of 50. That is great. So yeah, thank you for watching today. I have actually spent or used all my Christmas fragrances now, so I'm going to have to think of some more video ideas. I've got plenty in mind, and hopefully you'll join me for those. So yeah, I'll catch you later.